Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. That's always fun, hitting something you don't mean to. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Saturday. We are here once again with Week 7 picks for Underdog. As I always say here, the point of this video is not to, copy everything I do, everything to that degree. It's more or less about this is what I'm thinking. This is what I think, are the best options for the higher and lower picks. Obviously, do what you want. I do big tickets. I do about, 8 players. I do the big tickets. So I always say, don't always do what I do because I'm taking those big home runs unless you really are, wanting to hit big. Do a few, 2 to 3, 4, maybe if you really trust it. So that's more or less my advice to you. I'm doing this way more for fun. Obviously, you should be doing the same as well. But this is more just discussion and, trying to help you make informed decisions. But as always, I want to thank Underdog for our partnership here. Go ahead and go to underdog.com, use my promo code TJS at sign up, and you will get $100 when you play a $5 wager. Once again, that's Underdog. Using that code TJS, you'll see it right there on the right side of the screen, and it really helps the channel out, really helps me grow here, so I'd really appreciate the help, and we can win some money together, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's not delay any longer. All right. No favorites, perfect. Last week they didn't save, so as always, we're going to start with the morning games because it's what we always do here. So let's collapse everything and start with the Rams and Jacksonville. This game's in London at Wembley. Jacksonville's been there for a week already, I believe, and the Rams left, I think, yesterday or today. So there's always that fear when it comes to the travel, the teams that don't go out early, that they don't, get acclimated to the time change, especially with the West Coast team. The Rams were staying in Baltimore, so that is hindering some of my, faith in them, but not too much to the point where I think it's going to be a complete blowout. So with all of that said, we're looking at Matt Stafford first. If we can find him. Where did he go? There he is. Perfect. So Matt Stafford has had a pretty decent season. He's had some up and down games. You look here at Baltimore, but that's more, a fluke if you look at it. Philadelphia had almost 200. But other than that, he's thrown over 250 his last 5 performances, pretty much 3 out of 5 times. 250 in a game like this seems pretty reasonable, especially with Jacksonville being out there. Like I said, that I think they're going to be more acclimated to England. They're going to be more acclimated to the time, and they do this every single year, so they're also used to this trip. Like somebody like Trevor Lawrence is used to this trip to the point where it's not really that much of a factor compared to somebody like the Rams. With that said, I do think the Jags are a better team than they've been in years past. The Rams are obviously a very good team. They're Super Bowl contenders, but I think the Jaguars are actually somewhat for real this year, so having that advantage of already being there, already being acclimated, I think is going to help them to the point where I think the Rams are going to be down. So I think that the Rams are going to be passing a lot in this game. So I think Matt Stafford at 250.5, I think the higher on there is much more reasonable. Just in how I'm seeing the game playing out, because it's just one of those things where the travel is so hard that, going from the West Coast to London is already hard enough. The fact that you were in Baltimore, you didn't try to get acclimated. It's a situation I don't like. And if you look at the Jaguars, their defense is not the greatest. Their passing defense is, even worse. They're 29. Okay. So they allow a lot of yards to the quarterback, and even looking at their, oh no, I don't want the rankings. Dang it. Dang it. There we go. Is that what I want? Nope, that's not what I want. I thought I had the right one. Damn it. There we go. That's what I want. Okay. So if you look at the Jaguars' rank in points allowed when it comes to quarterback, they're at number 9. So they allow a lot of points to the quarterback already. So 250 yards seems like a very reasonable, very very reasonable goal to hit, if you ask me. So 250.5 is where I'm starting out with Matthew Stafford. We are going to stay on the Rams side of the ball, and Kyren Williams has been just amazing. He's gotten in the end zone pretty much every week, except one. Last well, 4 performances, because for some reason Casey and Jacksonville is listed on the Rams. I don't understand why. But we're going to keep riding this because I think that that is a very reasonable thing that Kyren gets back in the end zone. He has the ability to catch. He has the ability to run. And Jacksonville, again, their defense isn't great. They're not great against the pass. So, again, catching a touchdown out of the backfield isn't crazy, if you ask me. Where they are better is their rushing defense. So, how I see this game really playing out is the Rams getting through the air very easily, getting to that goal line, and then just giving Kyren the ball and getting the end zone at least one time. I just really like that situation in this game with the Jags and where they've been playing as a whole as a team. Again, this is going to be one of those games where I do think the Jags are up, so I don't think they're going to, lean as heavily. And I don't think it's going to be like a massive, 14 points up. I think it's going to be like 3 points, 1 point, something to that degree where it's a very good game, but the Jags are in a situation where they're winning the game. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that. Going to the other side of the ball, though, this man has not been trustworthy. This man has not been somebody that we've been able to, get a lot out of. I'm hesitant to even, trust him in this situation because the Rams do have a very good pass defense. But I am going to take higher on the receiving yards with Brian Thomas. Look what he did with the Chiefs with Trent McDuffie, who's one of the better cornerbacks in the league. He was still able to put up 80. Now, the Rams are a very good defense. They have a good secondary, but they don't have somebody on McDuffie's level where I think that they can actually just get the ball to Brian Thomas. They need to open up the run game with Travis Etienne to open up the pass game with Brian Thomas, but the Jags also have a bigger problem in the fact that their players don't catch the ball. They have dropped a lot of footballs, really noticeably in the Texans game. They drop a lot of balls. So if they can get that down, I think Brian's numbers are much better than what they've been throughout the season. I think these 3 performances, if he wasn't dropping, 2 there, 4 there, holy hell. I mean, 8 balls, essentially. 8 balls. So that's why I think he's starting to get it together. It's starting to click more. This performance was much more of what people were expecting last week in Seattle. So again, something I'm really trusting Brian Thomas on. Again, out of the 3 so far, this is my least I 100% it's going to happen, but it's still one out of this matchup that I'm like, this reasonably absolutely could happen. So I don't hate it. Puka Nacua is out of this game. It's a tough loss to the Rams and something that, will affect their offense when you lose a player that is that good. Their benefit is they have a player who's this good in Devontae Adams. So I think that they are going to have to target and get him a lot more than they have in weeks past. So 9-11 here. They're saying that he needs to get 10 to hit here for targets. I'm not feeling that as much as receptions, but I like the bonus better. So I'm willing to take the risk here and take that higher on targets because I think he is going to hit that target share because they don't have Puka. Tyler Higbee is an okay tight end, but he's not a Travis Kelce. He's not somebody who's going to get the ball checked down to him every single week. He is, okay. Tutu Atwell, not great. But granted, if you are looking at Tutu, I don't think his projections were bad either. I think it was 38 yards. So he needs to get 39 yards as basically he's going to be their number 2. I like that one as well. A bonus one here. I like that one a lot, actually. So we're just going to do, because I like to do a little morning slate, so we'll do a little 8:30 a.m. Let's try to get the ball rolling early. A little small wager to get some $20. Let's go. Confirm it. So those are the morning ones I like. Again, I added Tutu just because I think he'll be the number 2 receiver, and I don't think that him getting 40 yards is going to be that hard. So that is the Rams and Jags for me so far. So let's go ahead and collapse that. Let's move on to our next matchup, which is Vegas and KC. Kansas City has had an issue running the ball. There's no denying it. It's been hard. They can't figure it out. This man's gotten in the end zone one time, and he doesn't even look like he uses the red zone very much. I am taking the risk here and taking a lower on Isaiah Pacheco just because, again, he has not really gotten in the end zone that much this year. They have Kareem Hunt. They also have that rookie. I forget what his name is. Is it Smith, I think? Anyway, that kid's getting some work, and he's looking much better. So I think Pacheco not getting in the end zone is a realistic expectation, something that I'm really looking at to, most likely not happen. You know what I mean? Again, he's gotten 1 touchdown in 5 weeks. Is that right? And it was a reception touchdown in Baltimore against the worst defense in the league. The Raiders aren't much better. Let's be honest with ourselves. The Raiders are 10th in rushing, 19th in receiving. And what have they done against the running back here? Let's see. 16th. So they're getting up to 16th 16th most points. So they're mediocre. They're literally the median of the league when it comes to rushing. With all that said, I don't see them using Pacheco like they used to. Like, yeah, he's getting his rush attempts up here in Detroit, but 7, 10, 10, like, and he's not doing much with his carries. I just don't see him getting in the end zone this week, and that's not a bad thing. He's still a very talented running back, but I just don't see that one happening. On the other side of running the ball, Ashton Genty getting that rushing receiving over 79.5, I think that's definitely a realistic possibility. I think that is probably the best option in this matchup right now, just because he's been pretty consistent at hitting that every single every single game. He has not really slowed down. He's only been picking up his carries. He's been getting more touches. He's been getting better as a pro. He went back to his Michael Myers stance, which I think psychologically helps him because it's just, how he feels comfortable. So they got him back in that stance, and he's looking much better. 80 yards is all he needs to get. I mean, got that last week, got that this week, got that this week. Didn't get it this week, didn't get it this week. That's okay. But where his usage is, this seems more of what we should be expecting for somebody like Ashton Genty. So I want to take that 80 at rushing and receiving just because, again, he should be used like that. He is the main weapon in Vegas. And once they start realizing that, they should be able to get him the ball. Moving over to Mr. Swift, I think 5.5 targets is a joke. Him and Patrick have gotten back on the same page. Like, yeah, the production's not there that it used to be, but look at right here where his targets are the last few weeks. He's gotten that every single week except, again, the Baltimore game, which, again, Baltimore is such a bad team that I'm not really holding production on that team as much because the game script flips when you're beating a team that badly. So I'm not going to hold that against him. So with that said, Kelsey at 5.5 targets just seems like a very, very solid option here and something I want to take advantage of. One player I do want to talk about. Rashee Rice is coming off a suspension. Now, that is one thing that I am hesitant about even touching him with a 5-foot pole because we have no idea. Is he going to be on a snap count? Is he going to have some rust? It's been a while since he played. They have him at 65.5 yards, which giving last year's production isn't insane. It's not something that should not be done. But just with the unknowns, I want to avoid him at all costs this week because I want to see what he does his first week back and see how the Chiefs use him. Again, I think this is a very realistic option of something that could absolutely happen, getting 66 yards in his first game back, but I don't want to take the risk on that. I want to, have more of a secure option when it comes to playing underdog because you want to win money. At the end of the day, that's all we're doing here. We're trying to win money. So I want to look at Jacoby Myers, though. He has had not great games. They have Trent McDuffie in this game. I'm taking the lower. 53 seems pretty healthy. And even without Brock Bowers, because Brock Bowers, let's see, what is Brock Bowers' status for this week? Let's see. Brock Bowers. Okay. Doubtful to play. So he's probably not going to play. Even without him last week, I mean, he got 4 receptions on 4 targets. Like, Geno Smith is not looking at him. And that was against Tennessee, of all teams. Like, again, I'm not going to hold it against him, but, you're only getting 4 targets. Like, you're not Geno's guy. I don't know what they're doing there. So I'm going to take that lower on Jacoby Myers again. Out of the 4 options here, that is my least favorite. But the first 3, I really think those are the ones that are the safest of them all. So those are the 4 I'm looking at for that game. So let's get rid of them. And move on to Philly at Minnesota. This is a tough one. Again, sorry, I wrote everything on my phone and forgot to transfer to my computer, so I got to keep looking at my phone. Okay, so this is another tough one, but again, going to the guys that we know who are going to get targets and receptions and yards, and Justin Jefferson is the main one. 7.5. Look at what he was doing with McCarthy in the start of Wentz. Since Wentz has taken over, he's been his favorite target. I like the 7.5 right there. I think that's solid, even with Philadelphia's secondary. I like targets better than receptions because, again, yes, receptions are going to be lower in trying to achieve, but targets, they just got to intentionally throw the ball in that direction. That's going to happen no matter what the defense looks like. You know what I mean? They're going to try to feed Jefferson. So getting him at 7.5, basically just needing 8 targets, I think that's pretty much a done deal every single day. I think that is going to happen even with how good Philly's secondary is. I don't see that not happening. Staying on that side of the ball, though, I do like Jordan Addison here. Oh, they upped his odds. I had him at 41.5. Okay, so they upped it to 46.5. Okay, that changes a lot. Because, yeah, I had him at 41.5 originally, so that changes a lot, actually. So let's get off Addison, because that is the one thing about doing this research yesterday, is that odds change as people go. Just like this. I had him at 37.5. Where can I get him at? Don't want to take that much of a... Damn. Okay, well, that changes everything. But Goddard, I like to get in the end zone. If we're going to stay on Goddard, this was the other thing I was looking at, end zone. If it's not the tush push, it's usually Dallas Goedert that they're targeting. They're looking at, just getting Hurts the easy read to get the ball to get somebody like Goddard. Him getting in the end zone seems like a very realistic thing. Like I said, it's happened every single week except one the last 5 weeks. He is one of Hurts' favorite targets, so I think that is going to be sustained and happen again this week. Again, nothing is guaranteed in this league. Nothing is guaranteed in life, but I think Dallas getting a touchdown is a very realistic possibility and something that I'm willing to put my money on. Absolutely. We're looking at targets for Smith again. Not again, but we're looking at targets for Smith again because getting the ball is irrelevant. Getting targeted, you can do that all day. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith have definitely had some issues this year with getting the ball, but Smith has been lighting up lately, 10-5, so 9 down here. He has been pretty reliable when it comes to, an option for Jalen Hurts, and I just think in this game in Minnesota, right, it's in Minnesota, how loud it is, I think they are going to have to pass, so getting Devontae Smith at targets, I think, is the realistic option here. I am not going to throw a fourth one out because, again, they changed the odds on what I was going to do here, so I don't want to give you guys bad tips on things I haven't really researched and just did on the fly, so let's go ahead and get rid of that because, again, don't want to do this. This game right here is one that I am not liking whatsoever. If you look at the weather report here, it's going to be heavy rains and winds 50 miles an hour. Okay, it's going to be a miserable game in Cleveland. With that, I want the running backs. I want guys who are going to touch the ball and run a lot. Judkins is the guy. 94.5 yards seems like a lot, but Dolphins' defense is pretty bad. Let's see what they've done against the running back position. Oh, my bad. Okay, they are middle of the road when it comes to running back. Oh, wait, sorry, that's wide receiver. Oh, my God. That is the one thing I hate about this website. It's hard to do. Okay, they're 4th when it comes to running back points. They give up points to the running back. Judkins is the guy in Cleveland. I trust him to get the ball. I trust 94.5 yards. I think that is very doable for somebody like Judkins. So, same on Devon Achane. Except I want to go with rushing attempts. Actually, the more I think about this, what's Judkins' rushing attempts? Because you get that bonus. 20.5. Yeah, I'll take that. I want both their rushing attempts. Change the yards of rushing attempts. I think that's how this game is going to be played out because of how bad the weather is. Dylan Gabriel's a rookie. Tua Tagovailoa has not been great. So I think running the ball is definitely going to be how this game is played, especially with how bad the weather is. 50-mile-an-hour wind throwing the ball is not an ideal situation. So I don't like it. The other player I like in this game, this is going to be another 3, not 4, is Darren Waller getting the higher in receptions. Getting a check down in weather like that is probably going to be the only real option that they're going to have. So getting somebody like Darren Waller, who is becoming Tua's favorite target, I think that is a very solid option. So those would be my 3 in this game just due to weather. If for some reason this storm blows over and it's a beautiful sunny day in Miami, yeah, we can talk about other things. But that's not probably going to happen. So want the running backs, want the attempts, want the tight end, just to get those points. I mean, you could throw Njoku in here. Let's even look at Njoku. What is he at? Or is he hurt too? Njoku hurt? Ah, okay. So Njoku is out. So yeah, that's why I didn't have him written down. Okay. Carolina and New Jersey. They're New Jersey. New York Jets. They play in New Jersey, so it's basically the same thing, right? I am nervous about Rico Dowdle. He looked incredible as the running back, but Chuba Hubbard is back this week, and he is basically running back number one. But with that said, 59.5 yards I think is very doable. They're not revealing the lead back. Okay. Dowdle became one. Yeah. I don't know, even if they're not revealing back, I don't know how you can bench a running back who literally torched teams. 206, 183, like, that's insane. Putting him on the bench is, I don't care how much Hubbard earned that job, he's had that job and not been able to do anything with it. I'm sorry. 49, 73, 38, 57. 73 is a great day. Great day. It's not 180 yards. It's not 200 yards. With where the Panthers are, I don't see them not playing Rico Dowdle. So 60 yards after his big performances against a Jets team who is completely terrible, I don't see that not hitting. That is my gut feeling on that. I could be absolutely wrong. I'm not Dave Canales' in the room with him, but the thing is that almost losing your job or potentially losing your job and not going with the best guy will get you fired. That will absolutely get you fired. So, yeah, that's basically where I am on that. Justin Fields has not been terrible this season, except for 2 games. Denver was god-awful. Buffalo, god-awful. But he did get hurt, so we got to give him a little bit of pass on Buffalo. But Denver, there's no excuse. He was terrible. Outside of that, he's been pretty decent. Carolina's defense is okay. Their secondary is very good, but I'm willing to take that higher on passing yards. 171 just seems too low for Justin Fields. Like, if it was 180, 190, yeah, I could definitely see taking it lower. 170 just seems almost insulting. You know what I mean? It almost seems just like, I don't know. I'd be disrespected. I would feel very disrespected if I was somebody like him. So that's where I'm on that. So let's go over to Tet McMillan. Jeez. It's still early if you can't tell. Tet McMillan. He is Bryce Young's favorite target. He's been pretty consistent, except for last week against Dallas. Jets are bad. Yes, they have Sauce Gardner, but he hasn't looked as good as he has in years past. So I want to take that higher on targets. I think he can get to 8. I don't think that's too much to ask of him, especially in a game like this where it could either be a complete blowout or it could be a shootout. This is one of those games where it's really 50-50. Both teams, like, Panthers are making progress. Let's be real. They're not the Panthers of last year or 2 years ago where they were completely ass, but they're still pretty ass. The Jets are even more ass. The Jets, I don't know what's going on with them. I thought they would be able to snap out of that 0-3, but I was dead ass wrong. So this could be an either one. So 8 targets for somebody who consistently gets that, I don't think is going to be too hard of an ask for him to do again. So I'll take that for sure. Moving up to Breece Hall, the man around the trade rumors, which if he is moved, I think the Jets make a huge mistake, but I digress. I am liking his receptions. 3.5. He's done that every week, but Buffalo, again, Buffalo was a terrible game, but even when Justin Fields was playing terribly, he still got 4 receptions in Dallas. I mean, yeah, it might have been, I didn't watch the end of that game, so it may have been Tyrod, but either way, he still got 4 receptions in a terrible game like that. Oh, no, excuse me. It's still fucking early. Oh, my God. So, it's still early. Denver is where it was a terrible game. So, we got none in Denver. So, I will still take the receptions on this at 3.5, taking that higher because it's been pretty consistent. He is a check down option for Justin Fields, and even if it does get as bad as it should, I think he could still get 4 receptions. Not too bad if you ask me. So let's go ahead and clear that. Now, this is one game I'm not in love with just because, again, Patriots are on the upswing. I don't see them losing to the Titans. I think this is a Titans loss again. But how does this game script pan out? One of these running backs has to hit over 70 yards, right? Or one of these I did the math. I combined them. One of these running backs, one of them should hit 46. One of them should hit 36. That shouldn't be too hard. But with the Patriots, they have not adapted since Bill Belichick left. They don't have a lead back guy. Trevion Henderson should be that guy, but they still want to get Stevenson. Stephon Diggs is up and down. There's not been consistency outside of quarterback play. So with that said, I want the quarterbacks, and that's about it. I want Drake May on passing yards, and I want Ward on passing yards. Again, from Titans aspect, they're going to be down in this game. They've shown that they're down in these games. Cam Ward is still able to get the ball out. He's still able to throw, so I want to keep trusting that and that he can do that. Drake May, same type of thing. He's a good leader. He's been a good quarterback. He's led the Patriots to where they are now against a very bad Titans team, and he's done 234 yards in every single week except two over the last 5 games. I'm taking it every day of the week. That's the only one I want in this game, just because those are the only 2 that I really trust outside of that. And if you're not going to trust the situation, then don't even pick players from it. You know what I mean? Like, you want to reduce risk. That's the whole point of this. You want to reduce risk. You don't want to, lose money that can be saved. So, all right. Moving on to New Orleans and Chicago. I like Mr. Williams for his passing and rushing yards in this week. It's something that I hate going in and saying teams are bad. The Saints are bad. Let's be honest. The Saints are not a good football team. They have a win, which is great, but they have not been fantastic. It is a team that it can definitely be beat up on. So I think Caleb Williams, any situation where it's are they that as good as they've been? I cannot speak today. My God. It's a situation of, are they as good as they could be? Are they as good as we've been hyping them up? Or are they as bad as they are? So this is a prove-it game for the Bears to go out there and just dominate if they can. So I think they're going to try to get Caleb to be able to throw the ball, run the ball, show that he is a top quarterback in this league, and prove all the doubters wrong, essentially, and beat up on the Saints. That's basically what I think is going to happen. So him getting 254.5 yards, I don't think is unrealistic. I don't think it's going to be a situation where he can't hit that. You know what I mean? It's just going to be beating up on the Saints. That's just where I'm at with it. Moving on to Alvin Kamara, we're going to go take that 70.5 rushing and receiving yards, because again, he is the Saints' main weapon. Like, Chris Olave is coming alive. That's great, but he is going to be the running back and the weapon. Even in bad games, he's able to hit these numbers usually. So I'm willing to take the risk on him, especially against a Bears team who their defense is pretty decent. Can't deny it. They're basically 15th in the league, so they're about middle of the road. So I don't see them not being able to, or I don't see them being able to stop Alvin Kamara in the whole way. So I'm willing to take him on that 100%. I think that is pretty solid. Moving over to Roma Dunze, he is becoming Caleb's favorite target. So, 7.5. No bonus on this one, unfortunately, but I think 7.5 is healthy, and I think that's definitely doable with somebody like Roma Dunze. Again, any situation where I think they're going to try to beat up on the Saints to basically just establish their dominance and, again, prove all the players or haters wrong. Swift is the other one I'm looking at in this game. Again, rushing and receiving over 75.5. He's come alive in the last, week or so. So he's looking pretty good. He's looking like a favorite target, especially against a team like Washington. We're going against the Saints here, like I mentioned. Not a great team. So I think him getting 76 yards, definitely doable. And those are the 4 for that one. So let's go ahead and jump over here. All right. Denver and Giants. We're moving the afternoon slate, everybody. We are almost there. So, Cam Scatterbo, 54.5 rushing yards. I like the hire. I like the usage. I hate that it's against somebody like the Broncos, which almost makes me want to take. No, yeah, I'm gonna stick with the 54.5. He's done pretty well against decent defenses. The Broncos are elite. But again, I just think his usage, the hype around him, the energy around him right now is just something that I think can overcome a lot of stuff like that. So I think 55 yards is definitely doable. Jackson Dart at 181.5 yards. Again, I think this is doable. The Broncos are a very good defense. They have shut down rookies before. Because here's my thing. I was debating between that or pass attempts. Because against Philadelphia, they won, but only threw 25. Yeah, you know what? I'm going past it. I'm switching it up and taking the pass attempts. Because... Oh. Okay. I'm taking the pass attempts just because, again, Broncos have a very good defense. 182 yards could definitely be doable, but I think throwing the ball 30 times is more realistic to what the game script is probably going to be looking like. Because what is Denver favored by? Denver versus Giants. Okay. The Broncos are minus 7.5. So minus 7.5. They're going to be down a touchdown. Yeah, I think 30 pass attempts is not bad. I think that's realistic. I definitely think that's doable. So switching up from yards to pass attempts. So that's where I am on that one. And then moving to the other quarterback in this game, let's get a little Bo Nix action. I like his rushing yards at 19.5. He's a mobile quarterback. He's able to do it. He's going against a defense who has a very good pass rush in the Giants. The Giants have a great pass rush in Dexter Lawrence, in Kayvon Thibodeau, in Brian Burns. They have guys who can get to the quarterback, and I think that's going to force Bo Nix to roll out of the pocket and get some yards. So I think him getting 20 yards is very, very doable, very realistic in this situation, even with how the game script plays out. I think that Bo Nix getting 20 yards is very much a realistic possibility. So let's go ahead and throw him up there. And where is my boy JK? Did I miss Dobbins? No, of course he's the top one. Love J.K. Dobbins. Have him on my fantasy team. He's been great for me. He does not catch the ball very much. So with that, I'm going to take that lower on 6.5 receiving yards. Again, 6.5 is such a low number. It scares me because, again, one good pass, he's got that. With his utilization, though, he's not really their pass catching back. That's more of an RJ Harvey role. He's only caught one ball every single week. He's only gotten one that went over 9 yards, or went over what we're doing at 9 yards. Even 2 weeks ago against Philadelphia, still would have hit that projection of lower. So I'm going to ride with it, trust it, just because, again, it's not his game. It's not how he's utilized in the Broncos offense, and it seems like something that, even though low, is very realistic. All right. So let's keep on rolling. And again, some of these have changed just because the odds have changed as people are starting to, make their picks and everything like that. So this game is one that I'm very curious about because it's hard. The Colts are good. This is a real test for the Colts, but the Chargers are also slipping. I like the passing yards here. On the road, in a situation where the team could be down 261.5, if a guy as talented as Justin Herbert, I like it a lot. But I want the pass attempts. I just do. They like to throw the ball. Outside of these two games, they like to throw the ball, especially in a game. Like I said, I see them being down against a good Colts team. Let's get the pass attempts in there. Get them at 36. See what we can do there. On that same side, we're going to take Daniel Jones over to 22. That number scares me. Missed it by 10 yards 2 weeks in a row, but again, this could be a game that is more of a shootout. Let's go to what this game even looks like as far as totals and everything like that. Chargers versus Colts. Why can't they just put the odds right there? Just give me what I'm looking for. Okay. That's not helpful. Okay. Chargers are only 1.5 favorites. Are you kidding me? Okay. So if that's the case, that the Chargers are only 1.5 favorites, yeah. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot. I think this is going to be more of a shootout type game. So I want Daniel Jones at 222. Tyler Warren is another guy that I'm looking at. He is somebody who has been consistent. He has been Jones's favorite target. He has been a great rookie. He has just done everything you've asked of him, and he scores the ball. And he runs the ball as a tight end. That's also cool. 57.5. The problem is that he gets targeted, he gets catches, and then his weeks in and out are kind of up and down when it comes to yards. So 57.5 seems high. 7.5 targets seems high. He's definitely appropriately, that's what I'm looking for. I'm blanking on the word. He's appropriately set, like everything's reasonable what they're asking. He's been figured out. I'm going to take the 57.5 because, again, I think this game's a shootout. Chargers are weak at certain points, and I think tight end position is one that they're weaker at of guarding them. So let's take that Tyler Warren action, get him at 58 yards, call it a day. Quentin Johnson has been pretty solid for us. Missed last week, come back off injury. He is one of Herbert's more favorite targets, but they're not giving me the targets this week. So again, I like taking targets more than receptions, but at 4.5, I think that's doable. I think getting 5 in a game like this is pretty reasonable for somebody like Johnston. You can also look at Ladd McConkey because, again, he is starting to catch fire right now. Look at what he did last week. Finally got over 100 yards, 9 targets, 7 receptions, and a touchdown. So he's somebody else you could look at as well, but it's not been as consistent as far, except outside of targets. So if you are going to look at him, I would take those targets right there. Because again, I think this is going to be a very pass-heavy game. You can take that Jonathan Taylor as well. Some Jonathan Taylor action, but I don't know. I'm a Texans fan, so rooting for the Colts is kind of hard for me, but I'm putting a lot up beside myself, but JT, I just don't. There's got to be a week he doesn't perform. You know what I mean? He can't be on every single week like he's been. So I'm going to take a week off of Jonathan Taylor to just see if that's this week. And it probably won't be. He's probably going to hit every projection he has, but that's a conversation for a different day. We have CD coming back in the Washington-Dallas game. This could be a situation that definitely opens up and helps the Dallas Cowboys season. The question is his usage. They've held him out a long time. A very long time. So I'm going to take those receptions at 6.5 because, again, I think that he is still going to be a target. The Commanders are going to have to cover both him and George Pickens, and George Pickens has looked much better over the last few weeks. He has looked like a receiver who could be a true number one and produced like a true number one over the last few weeks with CD being out. They're now going to have to cover both of them. They can't just focus on CD like they've done in games past. They're going to have to focus on both of them. That should give CD options and opportunity to be open on one of the lesser cornerbacks compared to their CB1. So him getting 7 targets doesn't seem too crazy for me, so I want to definitely ride that. Jaden Daniels has been injured, has come back. He's looked okay. But he hasn't been his, rookie of the year self, which usually tends to happen. But I think this is a week where he does get back to it. And I am going to take his rushing yards. He is projected at only 8.5 rushing yards. I don't know how. Giants got 68. Green Bay got 17. Didn't play in Vegas. 39 against the Chargers and 52 against the Bears. So, yeah. I mean, excuse me. Rushing yards is 47.5. Excuse me. I still like the rush attempts, but I want the bonus where I can get it. And that's why I like the completions, actually. Oh, my God. This is what I hate about Jaden. My problem with Jaden Daniels is that he is very good, but he's not consistent where it's like every week you can trust, because sometimes he's going to run, sometimes he's going to pass. So Yeah, I want the rushing yards. Give me the rushing yards at 47.5. Something he can do, especially against the Cowboys, so let's go ahead and get it. Moving over to George Pickens, like I said, I've been mentioning him. He is going to be wide receiver 2, now with CD Lamb back. And let's look at CD's last game when he was there. So I was against the Giants on 9-14. Let's look at what he did on 9-14. 5 for 9. Okay, it's not terrible. So let's go ahead and take that reception. I like that bonus, 4.5 against a Washington team. Again, they're going to have to cover both him and CD Lamb. Who are they going to put CB1 on, and who are they going to put CB2 on? They're going to have to interchange them because both of these receivers can now, produce at a level that either one could be wide receiver 1. This is what people were expecting coming into the season. So with both of that, I want to take both their receptions. Now, the fact that I'm pushing so hard on passing, and I think this is going to be a pass-heavy game, let's go ahead and get into Dak Prescott. He's a touchdown throwing machine, and I think that continues. I want to take him at 1.5 touchdowns. Passing touchdowns, rather. I wish they did a total touchdown, like a rushing and passing touchdown for quarterbacks, but whatever. I'll take 2, though. 2 touchdowns in a pass-heavy game in a divisional matchup, getting your wide receiver back after missing him for a few weeks. I think they're going to be pass-heavy and get some touchdowns through the air. Those are the 4 I like in this game. Again, division games are weird. Rivalry games are weird, but those are the 4 that I really like in this situation. All right, Green Bay, Arizona. Marvin Harrison missed last week with concussion. Not missed, he was taken out of the game because of concussion. That's the appropriate way to say it. With that said, I want the receptions at 3.5. Green Bay is very good, don't get me wrong, but Marvin Harrison looks like he is starting to become his own, and he is getting the target share to be able to do that. Yes, he only got 2 last week, but it was because of an injury. If he didn't get that injury, I think he definitely overhits his projection, so I want that 3.5 for that bonus. Josh Jacobs, I think, is going to eat on this game. I think he is going to get in the end zone. I think he's going to hit his yard bonus. So with that said, I want the rushing TD of Josh Jacobs because I want that bonus. Green Bay, I think, is going to run all over the Cardinals. I think it's going to be a very tough game for the Cardinals to be competing in. I don't know. I'm disappointed in the Cardinals every single year because every year I think they're going to be something and then they're nothing. Who's the starting quarterback? That's actually the main question. Let's look at who the starting quarterback is. Because if it's Kyler Murray, I feel better about it, but okay, he's questionable. I like their chances better with Jacoby Brissett. That's just me. Kyler has been okay. He's never taken that step forward to be a quarterback. Look at what Jacoby Brissett was able to do last week and almost win that game. I think that it's a better situation with Jacoby Brissett, but that's just me. Either way, Cardinals are going to have a tough time, and I think they're going to be passing the ball a lot. So let's go ahead and get their other favorite target in Trey McBride. 6.5 receptions, doable. 8.5 targets, doable. I'm going to take the targets because it's giving me a bonus. Plain and simple. Taking that bonus, getting him on targets, because again, I think the Cardinals are going to have to pass a lot in this game. And now, Mr. Love. Jordan is a great quarterback. He's been very good as a starter. He's somebody that is able to do what he needs to do. Everything to that degree. He's a great leader. I want the passing yards. 100%. It's just that easy. It's last 2 weeks he's done it. Didn't do it against the Browns, but that was a really weird game that they lost. Didn't do it against Detroit. Started the season. Ever since then, now that he's gotten a rhythm about himself, I think those passing yards are going to come. I think that, like I said, Green Bay is just going to run over the Cardinals in this game if you're asking me again. But with my luck, they are not. Their Cardinals are somehow going to win and beat up on Green Bay, and then I'm going to look like an ass, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, Atlanta, San Francisco. He's been consistent. Every single week he's consistent. He does it every single week. You just got to take the higher on rushing and receiving yards at 110 yards. I don't know if there is a number you can give this man that will warrant not taking the higher on rushing and receiving. Like, it would have to be at like 150 at this point, because he just does it week in and week out every single week. Against a good Falcons rush defense, I see an issue, but he catches the ball too. He's the ultimate weapon, and I think McCaffrey gets those yards hands down this week. Bijan has started to look much better, much more like himself, and I want to keep riding the hot hand, and I want him to get in the end zone this week. Bold prediction. I think he gets in the end zone against the 49ers. I mean, I don't know I don't know what else I could say about that, just because it's the most obvious play here, but Bijan is a guy who can definitely get in the end zone against a team who has given up a lot of yards, who's given up a lot of touchdowns, and I just think that's where we're at. Moving over to Drake London. He's starting to become a target for Penix. 2 back-to-back 100-yard games. Going to keep, again, riding that hot hand. He is becoming Penix's favorite target, and I want to get in on that, get those target shares, and yeah, that's basically the long and short of it. San Francisco is beat up on the offensive side of the ball. They're getting George Kittle back, and I think that's going to help this game be more of a closer matchup to the one where they're passing more, getting Drake London involved, so that's where I am with that. Mac Jones is the other one I'm looking at, just because he has been fantastic since becoming the starter in San Francisco. I almost said Green Bay, Jesus. In San Francisco, so I'm going to keep, again, riding that hot hand. He's done it every single week. It's a game where they could definitely be in it. Could be a lot of back and forth, so give me those passing yards. Those are the 4 I'm looking at for Sunday Night Football. And again, like I said, build your ticket how you want to see. If you want to take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, absolutely do it. If you want to copy me exactly as you do, great. But don't blame anybody but yourself if you lose. I like to take the higher risk. I like to do the, a ticket build. So just take what you think is the best option here, whatever advice I'm giving you, and just run with it. Jahmyr Gibbs, this is honestly, Tampa Bay, Detroit is going to be the best game on the slate. Entertainment-wise, as a football fan, I think this is going to be a great back-and-forth game where it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a big part in that. First time he's been held out of the end zone last week, but I think that changes this week. I like him getting the end zone this week. Yeah, Tampa Bay is a good team. They're Super Bowl contenders. I think they could potentially even make the Super Bowl this year, but I don't think you can stop Gibbs this week. I think after getting held out of the end zone last week, he's going to want to change that. Mike Evans is not practicing as of Friday. He was limited Thursday. So, not touching Mike Evans. Not touching Mike Evans. I don't know. He did not practice yesterday. That is less than ideal. So, let's move over to Baker Mayfield. Baker's been a sensation. Can't argue it. Again, I like this game to be a heavy passing back and forth game. Want those passing yards. 245.5. I've been trying to check and drink for like 3 minutes. 245.5 yards. I think that's definitely doable in this game, just with how I see it playing out. So let's go ahead and ride that hot hand too. Rachaad White has had up and down games. But again, it's unpredictable. They're not even giving a bonus for a touchdown. So I think that is the best bet. But again, I want to take the bonuses here where I can get them. But you know what? Nah, I don't like predicting 2 touchdowns in one game because that's too specific. You know what I mean? Like you got to be super right for something like that. So let's look at Amon-Ra St. Brown. Had a down game last week, but again, look at the target shares. Look at the receptions. He's able to do it week in and week out. And again, I want that bonus. Give me the reception, or give me the targets. Give me those targets. And then where is Mbuka? Is Mbuka hurt too? Oh, yes, he is. He is out, huh? Oh. Okay, I forgot Mbuka's out. Okay, so we're going to take that to lower. No. Where's pass attempts? We're going to take that to higher. I forgot Mbuka's out. That's bad. Okay. 32.5. Yeah, we're going to keep that. We're going to take those pass attempts with the receivers being out because, again, They've done it before where they're able to use Shepard, they're able to use Otten, they're able to use other players in that fashion. But I don't even see Godwin. Is Godwin hurt too? Okay. Godwin's out too. Or he's at least hurt. So, yeah, you don't have Evans, you don't have Godwin, you don't have Mbuka. I'm taking the pass attempts higher because they're going to have to spread that ball around. But where is Cade Otten? Because that man is probably going to be targeted a lot. Yeah, we'll take the receptions on Cade Otten. He's a good check down option for Baker. He's always had that repertoire with him. So those will be the 4 in that game. Now that I know all those receivers for Tampa Bay are out, this may not be as fun of a game to watch. I take back what I said. Okay. Finally, last game on the slate at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time, we have the Texans against the Seattle Seahawks. This is a hard game for me just because, again, full transparency, I'm a Texans fan, so the bias is definitely going to be there, but I'm not even going to make picks on this one. Just because I don't know how this game is really going to play out, because it could be one of those situations where the Texans come in and they get blown out. They absolutely just get boat raced. Their offense doesn't do anything. Their defense keeps them in the game, but they end up just losing just because their offense can't do anything. Or it could be the exact opposite, where they finally get it together in the point of, their OC finally clicking with Kaylee and getting their offense clicking enough to actually produce points and yards and everything. So there's that side of the coin. Then on Seattle's side of the coin, you have the fact that the Texans don't allow touchdowns. They have the least amount of points allowed in the league. They have a very good defense that can shut people down. So it's one of those games that I don't have a lot of faith in. So I don't want to put money on it. You know what I mean? I don't want to put my money on something that I don't trust. So, oh, please, God, tell me no. How many times is this going to happen? How many? Okay. So, let's just go through. We'll try to remember which ones we had. The ones that I really am going to favor. I'm going to take that Kyron touchdown. Take the Devontae Adams targets. Those are the 2 from that game that I really like. Like Genty with that. Yeah, I'm taking targets on J Jetta. So what I normally do here is I do a morning ticket, an evening ticket, and mega ticket. Just the ones that I think are most likely going to hit. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just doing the mega one where I'm like, these are the 8 that I think are for sure going to hit, and that's going to be my ticket. So again, this is my gut feeling. It's not a guarantee. It's nothing to that degree. So take that with a grain of salt. But these are the ones that I think are going to happen. So let's just finish this out. I'm too stuck on Jaden. I can't trust it. I can't trust it. He could hit anything. Okay. Green Bay, Arizona. I think Marvin Harrison getting those receiving yards. Actually, I like him for receptions. I like him for receptions a lot. Okay. And then McBride for targets. And then we need one more. One more that we are so confident can hit. Gotta do it. The man, the myth, the legend. Run CMC. Okay. No, not 52. Oof. All right, so there's that one. Great. All right, now let's just do a morning slate. What did I I say for Kelsey? Was it receptions or targets? It was targets. It was targets. Yep, it was targets. Kelsey getting those targets. I don't want to double up on Genty, even though I think it'll happen. It's just you don't want to. Nah, I'll double up on Genty. Probably regret it, but I'm going to double up on Genty here. Just because, again, it's a morning ticket. You gotta double up on some of them. Just like Jetta's targets, I'll double up on because that's giving me a bonus, so I'll take that. Where's Devontae Smith? Give him targets. Okay. Miami, Cleveland, Carolina. Two more. Oh yeah, Breece Hall getting his receptions. Take that. Last morning one. It's always so tough to come down with the last one. With the bonus, rush attempts. I'll take 8 chance rush attempts just because it's been actually hit more consistently than Judkins. Again, I know this is a rain game. I know it's going to be an absolutely miserable game, but let's see what we do with that. So that's a morning slate. Now let's do an afternoon/evening slate with 3:05 time. So Denver, New York. Like Scattaboo getting those higher rushing yards. I like Dart with those pass attempts just because, again, I think this is going to be a game where they just absolutely bully the Giants to the point where it is a passing game, but they still get the ball to Scattaboo because 55 yards isn't too crazy. Okay. I am talking to myself here. Do we risk it? Do we get that risky? Tyler Warren in the end zone. I'm calling. Let's do it. Daniel Jones getting 222. What's Vidal? 55. Ooh, he looked good running. Yeah, let's do it. 55.5. Get CD with those receptions. Actually, I don't want to risk it. Let's go with 4.5 to Pickens. Just because, again, we don't know what CD is going to look like. My gut tells me it's going to be fine, but then my other guts tell me, no, it's not going to be fine. So that's the tough part. Okay, Harrison. Let's get those receptions, my guy. And Jacobs getting the end zone. That will be the afternoon ticket. And we'll call that a day. Because, again, Monday, I'm not feeling great about. I am not feeling great about it. Absolutely not. Okay. So we have a little time because I usually like to do an hour. Let's go ahead and just throw a college football one on there. Make today a little more fun. All right. Okay. Let's start with good old Oregon playing Rutgers. Oof. I don't know if they're going to throw with that much. It's a lot. Let's go with passing TDs for Dante. I'll take the pass attempts on him. Okay. Again, like I said, this is where I'm just taking quarter. Well, not again. I haven't told you guys this stream. So if you're new here, I take a college one and I just basically just throw darts at the board, usually at quarterback, just to kind of have some more fun with Saturday football. just because I'm more of an NFL guy, but I enjoy college, don't get me wrong. So let's just see what other matchups I really like. Penn State's kid just got hurt. Let's start with the morning. Let's get a morning game going. LSU. Remember when this kid is projected to be a number 1 pick? I think that happens. At Vanderbilt. Let's do it. 245.5. Diego, you let me down last week. You really did. You really, really did. Let's see. I don't trust him. I don't trust Diego. I'm sorry, Diego. Oklahoma, what do we got here? Yeah, South Carolina's better. So yeah, I like that one. Sellers, he's been hit and miss. I've used him and he's done great. I've used him and he's screwed me. Negative 28 rushing yards. My God. No, I'm not touching that one. Not touching that one. Okay. West Virginia, UCF. I only have 4. Damn. Okay. Here we go. Mississippi, Virginia, Stockton. Okay, there we go. So apparently his pick wasn't available for 2 seconds, and then it was. 219. Did that against Auburn. Kid does not throw TDs, though. I'll take the 219. I like the 219. Trinidad Chambliss. That's a cool name. All right. 250. Did against Washington State. Did against LSU. Okay, so he can't actually play. So yeah, we'll take the higher on that. I trust this kid. Okay. And 2 more. And then we are signing off here. No, that's bad. That kid just got hurt too. Mendoza. I just don't know. I need the last 2. I just need the last 2, and then I'm done. It's just so hard. It's so hard. Texas Tech. You know what? Let's go for it, kid. 200 yards. You can do this, Sam. I believe in you, Sam. Arch, what are we projected, Arch? Let's go ahead and let's round it out with a Manning. Sucked ass at Oklahoma. This kid's gonna lose it for me. I know he is. All right. College football slate is in. Let's do this. 8 players, and we are locked in, and that'll do it for me today, this Saturday. Just want to thank every single one of you who hung out here with us. Hope you guys win some money. Let me know if you guys win down in the comments. Like I said, thank Underdog for the partnership. Make sure you use that code TJS when signing up for a new account and get some bonus funds. It helps the channel out immensely. And until the next one, have a good one.